Okay, I'd like to call this special meeting to order on Monday, November 25th, no earlier than 11. I think we comply with that. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Immediately followed by the reciting of our mission statement. Should we do that?
What are we doing?
You're running this show.
I went to a training recently, and they said that you should be familiar and be able to recite your mission statement. So we should.
Oh, without looking?
Yeah.
You haven't given me a chance to study.
Okay, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Director Cicada?
I'm here.
Director Rutterman?
Here,
Director Underhill?
Here.
President Thomas?
I am here.
And Director Davidson is absent.
Okay. All right, this item number 2, public comment. At this time, if there's members of the public, all these crowd of people, members of the public may address the board on any non-agendized item. The public is encouraged to work through staff to place items on the agenda for board consideration. However, no action can be taken on matters not listed on the agenda. Comments are limited to 5 minutes per person. Seeing no one here, nobody out there wants to talk. Moving on to new business. We have 3A, discussion and action regarding CAL FIRE, California Climate Investments, Fire Prevention Program Grant application for the CCWD West Point Fuel Reduction Project. And this presentation is by Mr. Palmer. Hello, Charles.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So we did have a handout.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You ever go by Charlie?
Yeah?
Chuck.
Yeah, Charles, I'm thinking, oh, Chuck, yeah.
Chuck, yeah.
So I do have to confess, I have taken more of a back role in this, and so I would like to, Damon and Kevin have really put a lot of effort into this and made trips up to West Point. But, and yeah, Kevin attended a grant workshop in Sonora as well, so. And so, yeah, it's a clearing annual project grant application to do vegetation control and clearing. And we've identified some parcels up in West Point, the regulating reservoir.
What's it called? It's still the regulating reservoir?
Yeah, yeah, you would think after 50 years that somebody would come up with it.
No. Well, every time that word comes up in our meeting, we're gonna be discussing naming the thing. So this would be a good time to name the reservoir instead of naming it what it does. I mean, how about the Charles Palmer Reservoir?
Maybe in another decade or so.
I thought we were gonna do that Ratterman.
No, that wasn't it. It's me pushing for a name.
Yeah,
But
but that's West Point. If it's a director name, it should be mine. Oh, okay.
I appreciate that.
How
I
about
think.
cicada rat?
or what's the gentleman's name that's done so much work up there for around Shad's?
McGreevy.
Yeah, Pat McGreevy Reservoir. How about we honoring someone
Is that
from the
an
area?
agendized item?
No, we're talking about the regulatory. Yeah, we're talking about the. No. The regulating reservoir came up for discussion. I see it right in front of me. It's on slide 1.
Or add a name?
When Charles mentioned the regulating reservoir, we started talking about it.
Well, let me ask you a question. This grant application, I suspect, has Pat McGreevy's fingerprints on it anyway, doesn't it?
I believe he's been involved in the process.
Oh, that would be so great.
Okay. All right.
I think that would be so.
If we didn't have a spot for
Pat
future
McGreevy.
agenda items at the end of on the
On the
meeting, but
agenda?
I'm going to throw that out there that we do create an agenda item in the next couple months
Yeah.
for discussion on
right.
what to name that reservoir.
Okay.
And I'll throw my hat in the ring, it's Pat McGreevy
Oh,
Reservoir.
yes, and I second that.
When-
You
when the
people
time
are just,
comes.
you're not only,
Okay,
I'm not allowing it. Anyway, let's,
move this thing forward, will you?
yeah, this is
It's
a,
only gonna take 5 minutes.
West Point Reservoir, so
Okay, thank you. Okay,
this is a
now
10-minute
we can move
meeting.
on.
We've already spent 10 minutes on regulating.
So, yeah, so Michael was the first to bring this grant to our attention and thought it was a very worthwhile effort. So, the staff proceeded to execute the plan well and in their responsibilities. And so, yeah, it's a $115,000 grant application. It's to include the regulating reservoir as well as we own a abandoned leach field in West Point that maybe some of you aren't aware of this. But it's just outside of the downtown West Point. So, members of CHIPS went up there, is that right?
yeah, Pat's group.
Went up and evaluated it and they believe it's a worthwhile clearing project because it's right near the town. And then also we have 5 acres bordering our water treatment plant that's also can be cleared. So that brings a total of about 30 acres to incorporate into the project. So, yeah, so today's agenda item is to authorize a representative designee, Michael, to sign, execute, negotiate, and submit the application through the CAL FIRE program. So, yeah, we can answer any questions.
Well, I think it's a no-brainer, of course, I mean, it's fully funded. Any idea what the timeframe is of getting reimbursed? I know this DWR takes a long time.
Yeah, actually, one of the reasons I'm a fan of these grants is CAL FIRE, the grant program is really easy to administer. They're pretty responsive when it comes to reimbursements. I don't remember the exact time frame, but CAL FIRE runs the program is run very well, I think.
So we think we can get the reimbursement before the end of the fiscal year?
It depends on, I don't know how quick, I don't know what the schedule for the project is, so go ahead,
The
Kevin.
training session, they said that you submit invoices as the work goes along, and it usually takes about 3 months to go through the whole process.
So it's not that big of a deal, I mean, to carry over, as
No.
long as we have somewhere to pull from when we put it back there, then. And is there any other areas that are in the district that we could utilize some of this? Because it seems like a good thing to do.
Yeah, this, they give preferential to lower income communities, so this was the ideal candidate for this program.
But we'll look at it again. This comes around every year, so if we can break off other projects in other parts of the district, we'll keep an eye out for those as well.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing, and we should move forward.
Okay, any other comments, questions?
I'll make a motion, we adopt this resolution as explained by Charles.
Second?
Okay, let's give the second to Cindy. And, okay,
Okay,
all right,
I second that motion.
okay. And before we take the vote on that, I just have one question on this statement here about a favorable increase in carbon sequestration will occur post-treatment by accelerating growth of healthy tree canopy and understory. That's counterintuitive. I mean, understory should be, the growth in the understory should be minimized, not accelerated.
I think this
Oh,
statement
yeah.
gets to, by thinning the vegetation in the understory, the bigger trees thrive and they sequester more carbon than the smaller vegetation.
Okay,
So you have a healthier understory and you have more carbon sequestration, and the larger trees is typically the bigger.
I understand, but the way that this sentence is constructed, it says that they're accelerating the growth of healthy tree canopy and understory, so.
I'll take responsibility for that.
Okay. No, I'm picking fly specks out
That's
of
fine.
the paper here, but,
You're correct.
anyway, we have a motion and a second. Would you please poll the board?
Director Cicada?
Yes.
Director Rudder?
Yes.
Director Underwood,
Yes.
President Cook.
Yes. And then do we have to act on that motion about the naming the,
In fact, you can't act on it. Not only do you not have to, we can't allow it.
okay, the next item is adjournment. However, I'd like to ask our general manager if you have any other comments on this, or?
Just,
Anything
I'm
else?
really glad and Kevin and Damon and Charles and everybody pulled together a project on pretty short notice. These CAL FIRE grants are, like I said, they're pretty easy to administer. You can target projects like this that create a fuel break for a community that are, I think it's just a win-win. I think Calaveras County has not attracted enough of these grants. You know, we got 3 of them at Utica over the last couple of years, and I think more could be done to utilize this source of funding in the county. So I'm glad to see us taking advantage of it, and I would expect hopefully to see it as a yearly, you know, we identify more projects where we can use this.
And you said on a yearly?
Yeah, the program runs, the grants are renewed every year.
There's probably gonna be more funding in that area coming up,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, there's millions have already been
Yeah.
allocated for it. Okay, if there's no other business here,
I just wanna say happy holidays and
Okay.
oh, yeah,
enjoy Thanksgiving.
okay. All
Sorry,
right.
that's not on our agenda.
What a killjoy.
Okay.
This meeting is adjourned.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm excited, I stayed home all day yesterday, cleaned the house, and I even have Christmas decorations